Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of The Guido Goes Off. As always, I thank everybody for watching. Thank you to any new subscribers. If you have yet to join the few but faithful, please hit that subscribe button and welcome aboard. You'll like what you see. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, tonight was the WWE Elimination Chamber pay-per-view taking place from Houston, Texas. Of course, two big chamber matches, a lot of well, let's just get right into it. Of course, now, unfortunately, due to the fact that I did do a Guido Goes Live promoting RCW's Great Escape coming up this Saturday night, get your tickets now, I did miss the pre-show where we had the Cruiserweight Championship match between Akira Tozawa and the reigning champion, Buddy Murphy. After reading up, I do know that Buddy Murphy did retain the Cruiserweight Championship. So, I'm looking forward to go back and watching that. I'm sure it's a very exciting match. But I did catch the main body of the card, of course, and it started with the Women's Tag Team Championship Elimination Chamber match. As you know, we had 6 tag teams involved in this. Team of Nia Jax, Tamina, calling themselves the Samoan Slaughterhouse. I did kind of make a joke calling it the Samoan Waffle House, but the team of Naomi and Carmella, who have been making headlines this week, past few days for all the wrong reasons. The Iconics, and of course the match started out with the two teams of Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, or Fire and Desire, going up against the Boss and Hug Connection, Sasha Banks and Bayley. Of course, these two teams starting off because they lost respective triple threats going into the chamber match. So, it kind of, I don't know why, it felt a little clunky starting out between these two teams. And I can understand that because, they're on separate brands, don't really have that kind of chemistry, knowing how the other works. But then things started picking up once the, there's a lot of climbing on the cage spots. I mean, Sonya and Mandy pretty much, taking liberties on Sasha and Bayley, using the chamber itself. The Riot Squad, the third team in. I don't believe I mentioned them toward the beginning of it. Riot Squad coming in. Then they went after everybody, putting Sasha into the vacated chamber pod. So Sasha was out for a while in this, and then the Riot Squad pretty much doing what they wanted to do, but then the Iconics coming into the match itself, trying to get some falls. Sasha finally got up, broke up a pin. Now it's interesting that the Iconics are beating up everybody, not getting pinfalls, and then they just start talking at a volume that basically I think only dogs could hear. Getting really excited, and that Naomi and Carmella entered the pod. They tried to get some of their offense in, but then they got eliminated rather quickly, so they were out. And then soon after they were eliminated, Nia and Tamina came in. And then it was very interesting as Nia and Tamina are pretty much going through everybody as soon as they get into the match. The Iconics locked themselves in one of the pods. I think it was likened to a horror movie, and I'm not gonna lie, I was probably laughing a lot harder than I should have at that part. But soon after the Iconics were eliminated, the Riot Squad trying to stand up to them, they end up getting eliminated. And Nia tries to turn her attention, I believe it was to Bayley. Bayley gets out of the way, and Nia crashes through one of the pods, knocking her out. And then pretty much everybody gangs up on Tamina. Everybody pins Tamina. and then Tamina and Nia are eliminated. So we're down to the two teams it started with, Sonya Mandy versus Sasha and Bayley. That Sasha milking the shoulder, as we know, she had only been recently cleared to compete in the match. Sasha and Bayley hitting their combo move, the backstabber into the Bayley to belly, only getting a 2 count. Mandy and Bayley start working on each other, then they end up getting knocked out, and then it comes to Sasha trying to put on the bank statement on Sonya. The shoulder giving her trouble, so she ends up wrapping it up with her leg instead, which eventually gets the submission win. Your winners, and now for the first time in almost 30 years, new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, the Boss and Hug Connection. I mean, it's kind of a feel-good moment for this. I mean, it wasn't, like I said, the match, like I said, just felt clunky at the beginning, felt a little off, but then they finished strong. And so, congratulations to Sasha and Bayley on becoming the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Alright, moving on, the next match would be pitting The Miz and Shane McMahon, the world's greatest tag team, or the greatest tag team in the world, I'm sorry. No, best tag team in the world. I'm sorry to Hassan Benjamin. Miz comes out first, making a big announcement that he was dedicating this match not only to Shane, but also to his dad, his wife. Then Maurice comes out, and the couple announces that they are expecting their second child. So, congratulations to Miz and Maurice for this. Miz then, of course, adds in that he's dedicating it to his daughter, Monroe Sky, and their expecting child. Shane comes out, and then the Usos come out. Jimmy, as I said, he's had a pretty rough weekend, and so this match, it goes back and forth. We expect great things from the Usos, and Shane and Miz don't disappoint. But then we got to the point where Shane was doing his high flying. He ended up being pushed off the ropes. Then he tries the second time after Miz clears off the main announcer's table, so Germany and Spanish announcer's table were spared. Shane delivers the elbow drop from the ropes to the table on Jey Uso. Then it's down to the two legal men, which is Jimmy and The Miz. Miz going quite a few times for the skull-crushing finale. Ends up hitting it. Goes for the cover. Then Jimmy counters into a crucifix pin, getting the 3 count. Your winners and new SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions, the Usos. Now, it does lend the Usos into a very elite company, as they're only the 4th tag team in WWE history to win the tag team titles at least 6 times. As this is now their 6th title reign. Now, I know there's been a lot of speculation as to whether, there's rumors been speculating that Jimmy is wanting to leave WWE. For some reason, people are thinking that he's trying to get arrested to get that to happen, which I think is just asinine. If you just want to quit a job, you don't need to go through such measures. Miz was pissed off at himself later on. You see he and Shane in the trainer's locker room, and The Miz is absolutely beside himself, feeling like he failed everybody. And with that, Shane telling him to go home. You'll see him on Tuesday, so not really known what's going to happen. So I guess we'll have to pay attention on Tuesday. The next match being a 2-on-1 handicap match for the Intercontinental title, as Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush defend against Finn Balor. It's not a really big surprise. I mean, this, as much as I hate to say, this is pretty much a paint-by-numbers match. It was Lashley pretty much beating up on Finn, and then Lio getting his licks in. Then Leo was tagged in. They actually went to the outside. Finn doing a diving attack all over the ropes, knocking out both guys. Ends up hitting the coup de grace on Leo, pinning Leo, and becoming the new Intercontinental Champion. After this, Bobby Lashley is furious and pretty much drops his hype man emphatically. So your winner and new Intercontinental Champion, Finn Balor. The next match doesn't get started right away. We have Charlotte coming out, bragging about how she's going to be the one going to WrestleMania to face Ronda Rousey for the title. They did bring up the video package from the house show last night where Becky came out of the crowd, attacked Charlotte, but then Charlotte ended up attacking her knee, and said that she left the arena on crutches. Again, Charlotte was crowing about this. I hate heel Charlotte promos. I'm sorry, but this is when she's like an American tourist in a foreign country where they think that you can make the natives understand if you scream English. If you say English at a high volume, that it'll get through to them. And I just don't get it. Then Charlotte takes her spot at ringside, and then the match begins. It is Ruby Riott facing off, trying to take the Raw Women's Championship off Ronda Rousey. Ronda comes out dressed like Sonya from Mortal Kombat. For those of you that don't know, Ronda does voice Sonya Blade in Mortal Kombat 11. So, so NetherRealm isn't going to be suing anybody. Of course. This match, unfortunately, yeah, I was getting there. Unfortunately, this match does not last very long. It's like basically a 2-minute squash match, which is unfortunate given how Ruby Riott's been treated as a lady. It's by a real quick submission win. Your winner, and still Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey. Charlotte comes up to the ring. The two of them get into it verbally. Then, well. The old saying, you can't keep a good man down, and clearly the man is a good one. Becky Lynch coming in on crutches, pretty much walking through the crowd. Nobody's stopping her. I mean, last time I checked, she was suspended, but like I said, nobody's stopping her. No security. They just stayed out of her way. Hobbles into the ring, eventually stands up, starts talking with the both of them. Then tosses a crutch at Charlotte and then proceeds to whoop the holy shit out of her. And this is the part that angers me because Charlotte doesn't sell it worth a fucking shit! We're getting beaten with a crutch! Sell, bitch! It's at this point that Ronda grabs a crutch as she's about to defend herself, and Becky's like, you know what, no, why don't you take your turn? I'm sure you'd like to beat the crap out of her too. To which he puts down the crutch, doesn't end up doing it. And then Becky pretty much beats the crap out of out of Ronda with the crutch as well. She leaves both of them laying. I don't know if there's an errant shot because Ronda was bleeding a bit on the temple. And then she just walks out. Security's ushering Becky out. All I can say is it's going to get interesting here, going to WrestleMania, as long as Charlotte learns to sell. Okay, that part's done. Okay, moving on to the next match. It is Baron Corbin versus Braun Strowman in a no disqualification match. I don't know. I think a lot of people, after Becky beating down everybody with crutches, I think a lot of give a shit was gone from the crowd, and a lot of give a shit was gone from the audience watching, because not a lot of people cared. Corbin, of course, for some reason, throwing his vest to start the match, throwing his vest at Braun and then attacking him. I mean, seriously, who throws a vest? I mean, honestly. Yeah, I know! Who throws a vest? Exactly. Of course, it goes pretty much as you expected, Corbin getting his licks in, but then Braun comes back, and then all of a sudden, Drew McIntyre's music plays. Drew comes in. He grabs one of the chairs that's sitting ringside. Gets up in the ring. Braun punches the chair out of it. I think Braun punches the chair out of his hands, but then Lashley also shows up. It degrades into a 3-on-1 beatdown. Braun tries to come back, but of course, the numbers game. They set up the steel steps. They throw steel steps in the ring, stack up a couple of tables, and then do a triple power bomb onto Braun. And then Corbin, as cocky as he can ever be, gets this tainted victory. Your winner, Baron Corbin. I am really going to quickly move on. Then it's at this time we see Lacey Evans show up, and they do nothing with it. She's here to class to join up, and you do nothing. Come on. Okay, so then this leads to the main event, the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship. Randy Orton, AJ Styles, Kofi Kingston, and Jeff Hardy. Those four entering the pods. The match would start off with Samoa Joe and Daniel Bryan. Bryan, of course, bringing Rowan to the ringside, cuts a promo. Of course, people hate him. It's at this time security comes, and the referees come in security and basically saying, Rowan, you're going to the back. So, sending Treebeard to the back. Bryan cutting promo about him being a martyr in this situation. And so then the two of them start off. And so we have Bryan and Joe starting this match off. Of course, Bryan kind of being the cowardly heel champion that he is, he ends up I think he ends up crawling on top of one of the pods to try to get away from Samoa Joe. Joe and Bryan were chopping the holy crap out of each other. Both their chests beat red. So this time the third man comes in. It's Kofi Kingston. Then it's just both of them basically trying to get away from Joe, because Joe, very, very hard hitting. And then AJ Styles, the fourth man in. Pretty much is cleaning house on everybody, eliminating Samoa Joe. So Samoa Joe eliminated first from this. A lot of complaints on wrestling Twitter because of that, which I understand. It just seems like they're doing. I think this is all stuff we can say for another time. But yeah, Joe eliminated first. And then after that, Jeff Hardy enters in. He of course leaving Orton to come in last. Hardy hitting a swanton off the chamber pod onto AJ. But then while he's trying to recover from that, Bryan hits him with a running knee, and Hardy gets eliminated. And then at the last and of course, the crowd is extraordinarily behind Kofi Kingston, and it's at that point Randy enters in. AJ was about to go for a phenomenal forearm, ends up getting caught and RKO'd by Randy Orton. Styles eliminated. Randy looking for more. Then of course we have this a bit more of a back and forth between Orton and Kofi. Of course, kind of reminiscent in 2009 when the two of them had that program that led freaking nowhere. I don't know why, but Randy went for Kofi missed with the Trouble in Paradise. Randy went for the RKO. Kofi then ends up hitting another Trouble in Paradise, getting the pin and eliminating Randy Orton. So it's down to Bryan and Kofi, and the crowd is like pretty much about as hot as it had been the entire night. Talking about other than Becky whipping the shit out of everybody, but I'm just saying, Kofi and Bryan put on an incredible rest of this match. The crowd really behind Kofi. They're showing shots of the crowd, which this one spot angered a lot of people, where they missed a couple of pinfalls because they were shooting the crowd. So I don't know why you would cut to the crowd when you're about to have a finish, even if it's a false one. Someone really dropping the ball there. Kevin. It's a couple, several spots, of course. Kofi hitting the SOS, only getting a 2 count. Bryan going for the label lock. Kofi grabbing the ropes, which, a rope break still counts in this match as all eliminations have to occur in the ring. The two end up on top of one of the pods. Kofi just starts beating Bryan over the plexiglass, over that Lexan plexiglass. Then he's about to go for a suplex off of the pod. Bryan counters it. He's trying to do a suplex off the pod. Kofi pushes him off. Kofi then he's at his big moment. He goes for a splash. He misses the splash, and that is pretty much all she wrote, because then Bryan hits the running knee, gets the pinfall. Your winner, and still WWE champion, the new Daniel Bryan. Of course, he's walking out of there. Xavier and Big E come in, and they have this moment between all the members of the New Day. Forgive me, I thought they were going to do something. I thought there was going to be like a Pearl Harboring, but But again, a great, incredible showing by Kofi Kingston to end the show. I mean, it ended pretty early, actually. I mean, that's the reason I'm able to do this real quick. So that was WWE Elimination Chamber. Again, a good. There's of course great spots, but a lot of it pretty much forgettable. For me, the highlight of the night easily Becky going to town on Charlotte and Ronda. Of course, this it's everybody's hoping, and it probably should lead to the triple threat match at WrestleMania between these three women. Like I said, it was pretty much one of the only thing that got the crowd excited, other than Kofi's performance in the Chamber itself. And so Kofi's performance in the Chamber, again, another big highlight. I'm gonna go to the worst match for me. The worst match for me, obviously, Ronda and Ruby, because it was so short. It was basically a squash match, and I guess they're like, who cares about Ruby Riott? We've got Ronda Rousey. I guess I don't know how that boardroom operates. I don't think I want to. I'm pretty much sure I'm right, but I guess they needed to hire a production assistant to bring Vince's butterscotch pudding. That's the only reason I think they'd even talk to Eva Marie nowadays. It's very spotty. This card. I mean, there's a lot of spot. I mean, you had that match with Corbin and Braun that, literally was a throwaway match. I mean, why are we still doing this? Where is this going? What's going to happen? But like I said, those are my highlights and lowlights of, I'm going to take out, I'm going to say, the worst thing I'm going to set was Corbin and Strowman. I mean, literally, it just seemed like this match had no place on a pay-per-view card, because it just... But again, that is my take on WWE Elimination Chamber 2019. But of course, I want to hear from every one of you. I want to hear from the few but faithful. So please, drop them in the comment section below. As always, you can talk to me via social media. As you can see, rocking the new 3 Sweet t-shirt. If anybody is interested in picking up one of these beautiful pieces of Guido merchandise and supporting the GGO networks, like I said, drop a line in the comments. You can always talk to me about the social media. Like I said, I got a busy week going into here. I'm going to try and address certain situations that have been happening in WWE and the wrestling world at large. Not to mention probably conducting more interviews going into RCW The Great Escape. Like I said, it's going to be a very we did a live. We did the Guido Goes Live on Facebook Live just prior to Elimination Chamber. So if you want to check that out, please hit up the Facebook page. Like I said, this is going to be a very busy week for all of the GGO networks, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Like I said, I thank you all for all your support in this. Your subscribing has been helpful. Every time you watch these videos, greatly appreciated. And if you want to get an awesome T-shirt, it's a pretty awesome T-shirt. Feel free to ask. So again, that's going to do it for my review of WWE Elimination Chamber 2019. Until next time, I'm the Guido, and I think we're done here.